I think it's okay, yeah.
Can I tilt it back as well? No. That's better. Yeah.
Hello, hello. Good evening. I know you are enjoying, but we want to take the opportunity of being all together to do some of the traditional awards the EICF does in these events. So tonight we are going to make one. It's a very special award for us. It's the Lifetime Achievement Award. Those of you who were in Paris, you might remember that we present this award for the first time to Mr. Bernasconi. And now I want to introduce Mr. Steve Irving, Chairman of the EICF, for the Lifetime Achievement Award of 2018. Steve, please.
Well, good evening and a very warm welcome. I'm so pleased that the tenor hit the high note because I was ready to step in and do that. Anyway, so a very warm welcome. This is the EICF Lifetime Achievement Award, which is awarded to an individual who, during their lifetime, has made technology, engineering and business creative contributions of outstanding significance to the field of investment casting in Europe. And as Carlos has said, many of you will recall that we first awarded this back in 2016 at the World Conference in Paris, when Michael Runce presented the award to Franz Bernasconi of Pressicast. And I'm delighted to announce that this year we celebrate the remarkable career of Stephen Pilbury. Okay.
Turned cartwheels across the floor. I was feeling kind of seasick. The crowd called out for more. The room was humming harder as the ceiling flew away. At first just ghostly, turn the wider shade of veil.
So I'm sure we've all got favourite photos from those. I love those black and white photos. With fibre wrapped round your head, you look like you're about to be loaded into a preheat furnace at the age of 3 or whatever it was. Okay. I'm very fortunate because I've been handed some career notes from the Remet crew. You may have had a small hand in this, Stephen, but it's a wonderful career, and we really should celebrate it. So if you'll please indulge me for a few moments, I'm just going to do a brief career resume. So, Stephen Sean Pilbury, born, that's a good start, born in Crewe, Cheshire in 1952. So I can see you all thinking, 1952, that's 48 to 2000 plus 18, yeah. So, who said working in the precision investment casting industry ages you? I think you're testament to that. I think so, anyway. Steve's passion for precision investment casting started in July 1971, when, at the age of 18, he began a graduate apprenticeship scheme at Rolls-Royce Limited in Crewe. It was not a good year for Rolls-Royce as they went bust, but the Crewe site was quickly refloated as Rolls-Royce Motor Cars Limited, and Steve was attached to the investment foundry division. Soon after, Vickers plc bought Rolls-Royce Motor Cars Limited, and it became Vickers Precision Components, combining foundry machining, fabrications, and airmotive divisions. And then after 4 years at Liverpool University, Steve gained 2 degrees in physics and inorganic and polymer chemistry, and his working holidays were spent in various technical departments at Vickers. In June '75, Steve became development chemist for Vickers Precision Components Foundry and Machining divisions, responsible for the development and control of all chemical processes on the Crewe site. And around this time, Steve was Vickers' representative on BICTA's technical committee, with Eddie Green Spikesley as secretary at the time, and someone who we know very well, David Ford, as head of the technical committee. As a development chemist, he got all the processes that the metallurgists didn't want or couldn't understand. There must be a lot of those. And as Steve once remarked, it was fast, it was manic, but it was fun. After 3 years, he became an NDT supervisor, gaining level 3 status with Rolls-Royce, Pratt & Whitney and GE in several NDT disciplines, and 18 months later, became manager for all processes. In 1981, at the age of 29, Steve became the youngest senior manager in Vickers, controlling 3 laboratories and 67 technical staff. To quote Steve, "At this point, I have to say that strategic planning was not my strong point, as David, our second son, came along in 1982, just as I was sitting my Doctor of Management finals and thesis review. We survived and I passed." Lab and engineering manager and plant manager roles followed at both Crewe and Shrewsbury sites. Shrewsbury was the home of the fabrication and airmotive divisions, now part of what we know as Doncasters plc. And during this period, he also gained, you're going to need to help me with this, a diploma or a degree. I thought it was Daesh. It got me really worried when I read it. Was it a degree or diploma, Steve?
It was occupational health and safety
Degree. A degree affiliated to the Institution of Occupational Safety and Health, essential as he'd taken on responsibility for all HSE issues on the sites. Throughout this time, Steve participated in BICTA's technical and commercial committees and conferences, but it was not until 1988 that he finally crossed the pond and attended his first ICI conference in Nashville. Also during this period, Vickers plc had acquired Ross Catherall Group, bringing together Ross Catherall, Certified Alloy Products Inc., CAPI, and the TrueCast Foundry, all now part of the Doncasters Group. Unfortunately, in 1991, during one of the industry downturns, the investment casting foundry was closed with the loss of nearly 400 people. A sad time. However, Steve stayed within VPC for a further 3 years, operating between the Crewe and Shrewsbury sites and developing newer processes which were used in the remaining divisions. In 1994, he was approached by Burma Castrol's specialty chemicals division with an exciting challenge. 2 wax companies, Dussick Campbell Limited's PIC wax business and Yates Manufacturing were being merged into one precision investment casting focused business, and they needed a European bum, a European business unit manager. All went well in moving Dossett Campbell Yates Limited business forward, and in May 1999, Remet Corporation was acquired from Jim Pine, and with no structure in Europe, Steve was responsible for building it. Excuse me. Over the next 18 months, the business was realigned from being a wax-only specialist to become a specialist in all precision investment casting materials. And in 2000, Burma Castrol, their parent company, sold out to BP, and unfortunately, the chemical company's days were numbered. For the sale, Steve's companies were grouped with Fasico, now part of Vesuvius, and sold to a venture capital company. And it remained that way until the 23rd of December 2003, when Steve and others took the courageous step of leading a management buyout. Steve became the MD of the newly formed Remet UK Limited and a director of Remet Corporation. In more recent years, he's overseen some major challenges at Remet: the vacation of the Crayford site in Kent and relocation to Rochester, and some key additions to the Remet lineup, and I'm pleased to say the company has flourished. So now, after 47 years in the precision investment casting industry, Steve has retired as MD of Remet UK, but he will continue to stay close to Remet in his new role as non-executive director of Remet Corporation, with a particular interest in Europe and Asia. Since retiring in 2017, Steve's become a freeman of the City of London and a liveryman of the worshipful company of wax chandlers, so his deep-rooted links to the original wax industry continue. And to quote Steve, Kate and I are now hopefully planning a long and happy retirement and waiting for the weather to warm up so we can get our caravan out of storage and plan on going for some long walks in between spells of looking after the grandchildren, and well deserved too. What an incredible career, what an incredible career. It just goes to prove that sometimes our career path is carefully planned and other times fate plays a hand. But either way, it's what we make of it. Steve's a rare individual. During his long and distinguished career, he's made an enormous contribution whilst holding senior positions in both investment casting foundries and in companies supplying the investment casting industry. He's always been a staunch supporter of the EICF and, of course, in fact, all other international casting associations. And we understand that despite retirement from Remet, he will continue to remain an active and well-respected member of the EICF board. And so it's both a huge privilege and an honor on behalf of the EICF to award this year's Lifetime Achievement Award to Steve Pilbury.
Thank you, Steve.
Well deserved.
Brilliant.
Well
Thank you very
deserved.
much.
Okay. Can we have a look? Sorry, I have to close the clasp instead of that. Yeah, there we go.
No, that's great.
There we
Thank
go.
you very much.
Should we see if we can show
Okay.
it? There we go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Oh, my magic
And there's a magic gold badge, an EICF gold badge, much coveted, first awarded this year. Well done, Steve.
Thank you very much, Steve.
Okay,
That's great.
it's all yours.
Thank you. Just say a few words. I will try and keep this brief. My wife said that my retirement speech was too long, so I have tried to cut it down. Thank you. Thanks, Kate. Well, thank you, friends and colleagues. It's a great pleasure and honour to receive this, the second Lifetime Achievement Award. I've been actively involved, as I say, for 47 years within the industry. And I have to say, yeah, there are good times, there are bad times, but generally, it's fun. you've got to see the fun part of any job that you go into. And investment casting, there is never a dull day within it at all. I have been sort of half of my career, virtually exactly half my career, in the investment foundries. And then I turned to the dark side, as some would say, and went into the supply network. And I've been in the supply network for the same time period, around about 23 and a half, 24 years. So PIC is a great industry to be in, and the variety is great, and it's got a very positive future. But we must continue to develop our offering, our appeal, and deliver this with a passion. And I do believe that this business, you have to have a passion to deliver the best you can to your customer, whether it be a foundry or whether it be an OEM, whoever it is. And it's essential that that continues. And it's also essential that everybody in this room, you've shown by attending this, that you can continue to make the PIC business great and a success. It's essential that we get our influence onto the new designers, the new engineers, to make PIC the manufacturing route of choice. So please do your best, support your industry, whichever country it's in, to deliver the best influence you can on the buyers of PIC castings. And thank you very much. And I've taken up too much time, drinking time, and the evening. There's many other things that need to be done. So have a great evening. I will be around a little longer, God willing. But thank you very much for the award. That's great.
Thanks, Steve. Well, as you know, in the EICF, from time to time, we like to change the chairman in order to create an additional momentum. And it happens to be that this is the time that Steve Irwin is stepping down as chairman of the board of directors. And I have to say that during this period of 2 years, I have shared a lot of moments, a lot of times with Steve. I have learned from him. I have get a lot of support from him. And I think we have established a new strategy. You can see some of these changes in the way we are doing these meetings nowadays, even in our branding. And also, our target is to increase the value proposition for members. So I want to say publicly, Steve, thank you very much. You've been a friend and a good chairman. Thank you very much. So now Steve will do the handover to the next chairman.
So finally, I'm sure you've had enough of me doing all these speeches, but as my last duty as part of my 2-year period of tenure, this is a great honor for me to be able to hand over the chairmanship. It's been a great honor being a chairman for the last couple of years. It's been not at all onerous. It's actually been hugely enjoyable. and largely because of the superb job that Carlos does as our CEO. We've made so much progress in the last 2 years, so thank you, Carlos. And I'd also like to thank the board members for their collective support, because we really are a team. I think we've really gelled well as a team. I love the photo with us all in our EICF shirts. There's a real sense of team spirit comes out of that photo, and it's very true. In many ways, the chairmanship is very much a partnership between the chairman and the CEO, and I'd like to think that we formed a great partnership over the last couple of years. In some small way, I hope I've been able to help by acting as a sounding board for Carlos to facilitate some of our sessions, not that they needed much facilitation, and again, to add a little bit of guidance, not that we've needed much guidance. And, you know, sometimes offering just a different perspective, as do all of the board members. And so we come to Virgilio, our new chairman, our longest serving board member, along with Michael, a managing director of Zollern and Commandita. I thought it said here, brings wealth. I mean, he brings a wealth of industry knowledge and business experience. And as is Virgilio's style, he always brings a certain calmness and serenity to proceedings. He's a great leveler in our meetings. In short, he possesses all of the qualities of a chairman, and he's perfectly suited to the role. So all that remains for me to do is to hand over the chains of office, as they say. But most of all, I'd like to present this statue to you. Some of you will remember from previous chairmanship handovers as the EICF scroll, as we like to refer to it. I'd like to hand it over, not least because it weighs 2 kilograms and I get extra baggage allowance if I hand this over now on my return flight. But we really do wish you well. I wish you the very best. I'm only going to be stepping down to the back benches. So, Virgilio, our new chairman. Okay. Very best of luck. Okay.
So, hello everybody. So, thank you very much to let me be your chairman for the next 2 years. I will try to continue this excellent work that has been done by all the past presidents. And a special thank you for Steve, for his work, for his passion, for his guidance, for his serenity, and his friendship. Fortunately, I'm not alone in this task. Yeah. Fortunately, we have board members. I can count now in the future also with our vice chairman, Ingo Bitzer, and our executive team with Julie, with Pam, and with Carlos, great Carlos. He is a promoter of what we are doing, and for me, really a person I admire. And following our European heritage, yes, to do the work with passion, with skill, talent, and innovation. And one thing I hope we can achieve in the near future is this idea to help the industry, creating new engineers, attract engineers to the market, to this industry that is really great, and to find a program for teaching, training, yes. And I would be very proud if we could, in the next 2 to 4 years, create this, let's say, accredited EICF investment casting engineering. Would be something great. It's all about people. If you remember Richard Branson from Virgin, what does he say about people? Train them well so they can go, and treat them well so they don't go to. Yes, and it's what I try normally in my work. I'm a person that like to be happy, and I like to have happy people around me. And maybe one of my personal KPIs in the business is to have happy people. So obviously, it's not always easy, but I try my best. And today I'm very proud to be part of the organization And when I look around, I think I see happy people. And I'm very happy that you are here in Porto. I think everybody is enjoying it. Many people probably didn't know what Porto is about, what Portugal is about. This gives you certainly a totally different picture. And so, what shall I say? Thank you, and continue to enjoy our event. Thank you.
Well, then it is for me to recognize Steve in a formal manner with the gold badge. He was thinking he was not going to get one, but I think we will do that. And also this glass memento with the vintage logo that traditionally chairman of the EICF has been receiving. In it is, I believe, it's the whole appreciation of the executive team, the board, and I think you can join to this appreciation. Thank you very much, Steve.
And so finally, in my first role as ex-chairman, I'd like to just say a few words. When I was growing up, I was in the Scouts. My dad was in the Scouts. My granddad was in the Scouts. My two boys went through Scouting. We're a real Scouting family. In fact, my partner, she was a Cub Scout leader. And it really gave me a love of the great outdoors and for outdoor activities. But I think Scouting also gives you a sort of sense of social responsibility. And it's something I've tried to take through my life. 10 years ago, I became the secretary of our local Scout group, and I help with fundraising, and I try and give a little bit back to something that gave an awful lot to me. And I think that's a great mantra to take through life, and I think this is what this is all about and what this role is all about. And I've tried to bring it to the EICF, as do all of the board, and as do all of you for coming to conferences like these. As I've said, we're really blessed to have a chairman like Carlos. To do this job well, you need both vision and drive. You know, the clarity of thought of where you want to take the organization and the federation. But that alone is not enough. You need the drive and to pull the board together in order to take us to new heights, essentially. And you only need to look back over the last 2 or 3 years to see the great developments that have been made. We don't employ a professional event management team to organize an event of this size. It's quite remarkable, really. Carlos manages this on a shoestring. There's a very small team. There's only essentially Carlos and Julie and a whole host of helpers that they tap into. But just imagine it, there are 330-odd attendees at this conference. Most of us at some stage, and I'm very guilty because I was there yesterday, will say, Carlos, can you just do this? Can I just ask a favor of you? Or you send an email in, it may be about the hotel, about transport, about the app not working, whatever it might be. And Carlos will answer it. And it's a huge task. And I'd just like to thank you because I think the event so far has been incredibly successful. I hope you all think so too. And I hope that you will all now show your appreciation for Carlos and what he's done for the EICF in this conference. Okay, Carlos. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. That's really good.
Okay.
Well, I just want to say thank you. Don't forget what I told you yesterday. Live, love, learn, and leave a legacy. Thank you very much.